Today we're going to learn about basic layout design for a yearbook spread. The first thing we need to know are the tools we are going to be working with. On the left, you will see tools called Select, where you can identify items that you want to do something with, a text tool that allows you to type, a drawing tool, which we will not be using today because that is for more advanced design, shapes, pan, which allows us to move the screen around, and zoom. This percentage box shows us what percentage we are seeing of something. We also have color adjustment, border adjustment for color, and to fill an object with color. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see a menu that says Object. We also have Type, Photo, Layout, and Effects. We will be using those as we go along. But the first thing you want to do in basic layout design is decide on your eye line. Now, right now we are looking at 2 pages of a yearbook spread. This blue bar going down the middle indicates the gutter, or where the book is bound in the middle. These 2 purple sets of lines are column guides. We can have as many columns as we want, but for simplicity's sake in a basic design, we're going to leave it the way it is. Now we want to include an eye line. An eye line is where the layout design will be built around. Now when you build around an eye line, you can either choose to have it at the bottom of the page or at the top of the page. I just happen to prefer the top, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Select tool, which is shown over here, and I'm going to go up into the ruler section of my screen, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to pull down, and here's a blue line coming down. I'm going to put it about 1/3 of the way down on my page, approximately. And I'm going to let go, and it stays there. Now, it will not print in the yearbook when you see that. It is for measurement purposes for design only. So it will not show up when we print the final yearbook. Now, the next thing we want to do is start blocking out for photos. Now, when you make a layout design for a yearbook, you want a really eye-catching photo, and you want it to be dominant. That way the eye knows where to start first. So we're going to go over here to Shapes, and I'm going to click on the square. And when I do that, a blank square is going to show up in the middle of the screen. Now I can click on it. I'm still using the Select tool, and I can click and pull it wherever I want. I'm going to start way up here in the corner. Now I'm going to click on the corner of this square. You'll see my little hand tool, that's my Select tool. When it gets near one of these corners, it changes to an arrow. I can click and pull and make this whatever shape I want. Now, since this is my dominant photo, I want to make this a really large picture. So we're going to go all the way down there to almost the bottom and stop. Now you may notice we've crossed the eye line. You can cross the eye line when you are designing with photos, but tradition has it that you only do it with the dominant photo. Now the next box we want to be half the size of this. Now the easiest way to get a box half the size of this is to click on it, to go up here to Edit and click Copy. Now we're going to say Paste. And we have another box exactly the same size. I'm going to put it over the initial box. It doesn't have to be exact, just close. Eyeball it. I'm going to make it about half the size of the original. That looks about right. We're just eyeballing this. And I want to put it somewhere else. Now remembering, I'm going to lead the eye around the page, and I want to tell the eye where to go. So I'm going to put this right over here. I'm gonna, whoops, let it go, and click, pull, and put it right there. Now I've put both pictures on either side of the gutter. If we run a picture through the gutter, it is likely to get cut off when the book is bound. So let's make another box. We're going to copy this one. So let's go back up to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. Now you can probably guess what I might do with this again. I'm going to make it in half again. Now I could either go this direction or I could go to the side. I think in this case, I am going to go to the side. And that's just a matter of personal preference. I'm going to take this and I'm going to overlay it over my original picture, just for a little bit of uniqueness. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to copy it and paste. And I'm going to make this one now about half the size of what I had before. And I'm going to put this right down here. I'm putting it next to the gutter. So right now, I have 4 pictures on my screen. Here's my dominant that has broken the eye line. And you notice the other pictures are staying under the eye line. That keeps it a basic design, and we're telling our eye that we want to start here by looking at this dominant photo. Then our eye will naturally travel down here to the corner, and then we'll look here, and we'll look here. And so we're guiding the viewer's eyes to where we want it to see things. Now you can see as I put these boxes down, they're not lining up with these lines that are on the screen. All these little lines you see in here are a grid, and they help us to place objects very precisely. The more exact your layout page looks, the better it will reproduce in printing. So right now, our screen is at 83%. I'm going to click on the zoom tool, and you can see now on my screen it looks like a magnifying glass. I'm just going to click randomly over this corner and drag my tool. Now I'm going to let it go. I have now zoomed in to 473%. A really good layout, we want to get more than 600%. We want to get up to 800%. Now when we zoom in that far, we can see that this is way off those grid lines. And that will keep our book from looking good. So we want to line it up exactly. Now we're going to pan with our tool and start looking around for where our other photos are. And it's a little disorienting when you're zoomed in this far. You can kind of forget where you put things. Okay, this is way off, so we're going to go back to our select tool and we're going to move it up to a line so it lines up exactly. Notice that I'm leaving a square in between each of these two what are going to be pictures. Each one of these squares is called a pica. A pica is a unit of measurement in layout design. You always want items to have a pica of space in between, unless you've chosen to do something creative like go over the picture, like we did in this corner over here. So let's take our pan tool, move down. It's hard to remember where we're at. I think we're going to go to our Fit to Page tool. We need to get over here. So we'll use our zoom tool and we're going to zoom in here. And let's zoom in again. And now we're at 800%. So this one is lined up almost perfectly. And this one might be, yep, that was right on. That was lucky. Okay, let's go back to our page. Oh, look at this. This picture now is going to overlap this picture. That's not what we wanted. So we're going to click on this picture. We want it to be over the top. So if you were using a PC computer, you could do a right click on this. But for our purposes, since I'm using a Mac, I can go to this object and hold down the Control key on my keyboard and click on it. And I can say I want this picture to be in front of this other picture. So it's going to lay over the top like two pieces of paper. So now we've got our Select tool, and we have 4 boxes on our screen that are lined up under the eye line except for the dominant photo. And let's place some pictures. We can go down here to the bottom of our screen where pictures are. And I clicked on photos. I'm just going to choose some pictures from the first day of school. Let's see if we can find a good one here. I'm clicking on my scroll bar and pulling it. Now this happens to be a really good crowd picture. There's a lot of emotion in this picture. So I'm just going to click and pull it into this box. Well, that doesn't look right, does it? There were a lot more people in that picture. I'm going to double click on that box, and I'm going to make it fit to where I want it to go. And I think I want to capture here. So I'm going to say done, and we have our first picture. Now this could be a really good picture here, but this is a vertical box and this is a horizontal picture, so we're going to look for something else. Uh-oh, somebody imported our picture sideways. That's a problem. Oh, here's a precious picture of some new junior hires. Let's see if we can get them to fit in this box. It's a horizontal photo. Let's see if we can work with it. I'm going to double click. Okay, we can get at least this kiddo in the picture. So we're going to align it over him. We could also go over here, which might actually make for a better picture because we can see his face. But I like how he's looking down at his schedule because he was confused about where he was supposed to go. So we're going to choose that picture. Now let's go ahead and do our overlapping picture right here. And let's go ahead and make that, oh boy, so many choices. You know what? We have some new teachers in the school. This would be a good place for them to go. Or actually, I think I'm going to put them over here. So I'm going to put them in the box. That didn't look like that fit. So we're going to double click on the picture. Come on. Double click. And we're going to pull this down. And now we can see both teachers. Now we need to pick a picture for this final box. So I'm going to go down to my photo tray. And I think for time's sake, I am going to choose these kiddos who are coming to school. So I'm going to click and pull it into this box. And again, I need to double click because that doesn't look like it's got everybody. This is a precious brother and sister. They're really cute together, aren't they? So we're going to put the box over them. And we have a basic layout of photos. Now we might want to type a title for this. So I'm going to click on our text box and go up here. And I could type first day of school. But that's really tiny. We're not going to like that. So we're going to highlight that. And if I go over here under type, I can choose a different typeface. Right now, only Helvetica and Times are loaded. So that's fine, but we're going to make this a lot bigger. This is a title. So let's see what 36 point. Oh, we can go bigger than that. Let's go up to 60. And I think we're going to make this a color. So let's go ahead and click on text, color, and let's make it red because that looks like a pink. Let's go with red because this was a powerful day. And we'll use our select tool to put this right above our picture. We can drag this to the side, and we can make this centered by going over to our alignment and clicking on our alignment tool. And we have a basic layout. Our next lesson would be about putting captions underneath the pictures so that they touch the pictures, and how to write a story that would probably fill this space here. I hope you've enjoyed our lesson in basic design.